Hey everyone, this is Gray Hughes. I am doing a video today on the Austin bombing case, an update. I think a couple days ago, or maybe even might have been early yesterday, John Lorden put out a video. Who's a great YouTuber, and if you haven't subscribed to him, do so. I mean, he's really fantastic. He has a series called Brain Scratch, Itchy Brain Scratch, maybe something called Itchy Mysteries, I think. He has these different series that he puts out, and he's really religious about doing it. So if you go to his channel, everything is lined up perfectly where he puts out the exact same series on the same day, every day of the week that he says he's going to do it. Okay, it's pretty incredible. I'd also like to say that John Lorden and Danielle Hallen will be having a booth this year at the Crime Con, which is similar to Comic-Con and some of the other cons that they have out there. But it's pretty cool, you know. Actually, YouTubers that do true crime that have a booth. Okay, now the PI that I work with and for, I think she's going to have a booth this year too, and she wanted me to come out there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but it's interesting that she actually is going to have a booth at the same event. Okay, well, John Lorden put out a video, and he had information in it that I hadn't had when I made my video, okay, about some connections. And I put together this little chart here, and we can take a look at it. And I've also gathered more information now about, I know exactly where all the homes are. I found this crazy website that had all this information on it, and I was able to locate the exact placement of each of the homes, and I am going to share that with you. Okay, I think I want to say one last thing, is I have also decided that I'm going to do way less lives, okay? I like making videos about facts and just keep putting in facts and putting them together, and then I speculate on those facts, okay? When I make an error, I'll either take down the video or remove that portion and then re-upload it, okay? I am not about trying to sell a narrative. I just have my opinion and the way I see things, and that's what people like that I put out, okay? So that's what I'm going to get back to. Okay, I might use this platform that I'm using right now to make those, but I'm going to go back to what I was doing. And I'll try to have my face on the screen less. I know that was that was offensive to some people. They say, yeah, I don't want to see your face, though. You know, you can use your voice. Okay, well, that's cool. I understand that. Okay, so after today, I'll put my face on less, okay? I'll just say a few things and then get back to where I have stuff on the screen. I kind of want to get back to doing where I do animations and really analyzing stuff. When you're on live, you really can't do that. You know, people comment about, oh, your mic, you know, I hear keyboard typing, stuff like that. That stuff doesn't work. I mean, maybe I shouldn't read the comments, but I feel like if you're doing a live show, you've got to engage with the group of people that are actually watching. And, you know, my live shows don't really have that many people watching. So maybe in the future there will be, if I schedule them out and have some guests on. But I think I might just do like one live a week, you know, maybe if there's breaking news perhaps, or, you know, maybe to discuss the other cases that we go over during the week, and we can just have an informal sort of chat, maybe have some guests on that actually know about each of the cases, and we can talk and, you know, just all kind of have a good time. But I don't want to make that my video delivery method. It doesn't work. Okay? So that being said, let's get on to today's topic. All right? All right. So this Wesley United Methodist Church was established in 1865, but since 1929, the churchgoers have figured prominently in the education, philanthropy, and civil rights activism. Okay, now Freddie Dixon was a pastor at that church. He still gives lectures there, but he isn't the main pastor anymore. Okay, he married Melody House. Okay, Melody House is the biological mother of Anthony Stefan House, and then she married Freddie Dixon, who is now, or was Anthony's stepfather. Okay, so Freddie Dixon was a pastor in this church, and a lot of people attended that church, and apparently Norman Mason and LaVon Mason also attended that church. LaVon worked with Freddie to create and co-found the Urban League, and Norman is a dentist, and Norman and Freddie are friends, and I would assume that LaVon's probably friends with Freddie too, because she and him co-founded the Urban League. All right? Now, the father of Draylen, I do not know, okay, but his mother is Shamika Wilson. Now, on her Facebook page, I mean, it's just open to the public, you can see that there are 3 or 4, I think 3 Masons listed on there. And I don't know if one of those, or I don't know if 2 of them might be the father or not. I don't know. And when I say 2 of them, there's only 2 names on there. I think they're 2 males. LaVon Mason is on her Facebook page. And so there's only 2 opportunities for somebody on her Facebook page to be the Mason's son. That would be the father as well of Draylen, if you know what I'm talking about, okay? So Sandra Jones is Shamika's mother and grandmother of Draylen. Sandra Jones, actually, these 3 people right here, Sandra, Shamika, and Draylen, they all live together in the same home. All right? At least that's what it says on this website that I found. It was crazy. You can actually do all these different searches, and it comes up with the information. So according to that site, these 3 people live together. And even in one of the articles I read, Sandra here actually was with Draylen as he took his last breaths. I mean, how sad is that, huh? And Shamika, she also got injured in the blast, but she's expected to make a full recovery, okay? Now, we have the 3rd victim here is Esperanza Herrera. So keep in mind, Anthony House, this was on March 2nd at 6:55. The second bombing occurred at 6:45, so 10 minutes earlier than this, but on the 12th. Okay, so on March 12th. So that means that, who's ever setting these bombs is putting them out really early in the morning. Okay, I would imagine that you're doing it before anybody's even really awake, so that the first person that awakens and grabs the package is the one that's going to probably get killed by them. All right, so this was on March 12th, so 10 days later at 6:45, and then at 11 o'clock is when Esperanza Herrera was injured. Or, she is severely injured. She has grave injuries. I don't know what her condition is right now, but she was actually only staying with her mother, Maria Moreno. Okay, and the package, however, was addressed to Erica Mason. All right, and that address, which is 2 homes over, so there's 1 house between them, she's not related to these Masons right here. Okay, so it's possible that the bomber made 2 mistakes. 1, he put the package in front of the wrong home, and 2, he got the wrong Mason that he was looking for, maybe perhaps looking for a Mason related to these Masons. Now, Mason isn't really that uncommon of a name, so it's possible that it was just completely random and not related, but you got to realize that this person's putting these bombs together, right? And he put the addresses on the boxes. So that means when he put the box at this house, well, that would be something interesting to know. I don't know right now. See, I think that it's possible that Shamika was the intended target, and her last name is Wilson. Okay? It'd be interesting to know what was on that label. All right? And she's 43 years old. He's 39. There's some similarities there. The children of these 2 people. Okay? That's a little strange. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual locations again. I have these narrowed down to the exact homes on the streets where the bombings took place. Okay, now let's take a look. All right, this is actually the first location. I'm not sure why that went into outer space right there, but it did. So this is the first bombing location, and it was at 6:55 a.m. on Haverford Street. Okay, now the police originally labeled this as maybe some kind of a gang bombing. That seems like a little bit of that soft bigotry of low expectations kind of thing. I mean, he had nothing to do with any of that kind of stuff, and he was a good person. Okay, now there's actually a witness who, after the bombing, ran outside and found Mr. House standing there. He was still standing, but then soon collapsed. Now let's listen to the description by this person, okay?
It's been 11 days since Sean Phillips found his neighbor Anthony Stefan House lying on the front porch of his home on Haverford Drive. The memory of that morning is still fresh in Phillips' mind.
I ran outside and I saw him standing over there. He was glazed over and didn't really have a very responsive, wasn't responding to seeing me or hearing me or anything. He collapsed.
Phillips tried bringing him back to life.
I gave him 2 rescue breaths to get him breathing again, and called 911 and did what they told me. They had us roll him over. Another neighbor helped me get him rolled over.
Medics arrived minutes later and took House to the hospital, where he would later die.
He seemed like a good guy. He took our kids to his daughter's birthday party and brought my son back when he wasn't feeling good, and seemed like a decent enough guy.
It hasn't been easy in the days following the deadly explosion.
I've had some acute trauma symptoms and been jumpy and having some flashbacks and whatnot.
And now after 2 more explosions, Phillips wants closure, not just for himself, but for House's family and the people of Austin.
We just want answers to know what happened to our neighbor and to what's happening to the other people in Austin.
Okay, so you can see how devastating that would be to actually come across that incident. And someone gets blown up, basically. They're standing there, and then they just collapse and they die. And he actually gave a couple breaths to the guy, tried to help out. Paramedics were there quickly, and I guess he died a couple hours later. That's just terrible. You know, just another barbarian on the loose out there. Okay, so this is the victim number 1 house. It was in this house right here. And let's go to the second one. Okay, and it's approximately 8 miles away. And I'm going to go to Street View again for you. All right, and it's this house right here. So in this case, the package was outside. You know, maybe it was even put right here. You know, I would imagine the package was put right here on the doorstep, maybe where the newspaper is. So the first person that wakes up grabs the newspaper and the package. In this case, Draylen, he picked up the package, brought it inside the house, and it actually exploded. Okay, and in that case, his mother, Shamika Wilson, was also injured. But Draylen unfortunately passed away from his injuries, and again, the grandmother, Sandra Jones, saw him and was with him when he took his last breaths. I'm sure Shamika was, injured and, really concerned and maybe just totally out of it. A bomb like that, you'd probably get a concussion. All right. So this is the victim number 2 home right here. All right. Draylen Mason. All right, now let's go to the third location. Now this location here has some interesting aspects to it. Let's take a look at Street View. Now you can see that this house right here is where bomb number 3 went off at. Okay, so we get down here, and that's the home right there. The bomb, I believe in this case, also went off outside as it was being picked up, I believe. And she has grave injuries. Okay, I don't know what her status is right now. I haven't seen an update on that. Okay, and the 2 houses over, which would be this house, this is actually the house that the package was labeled to. Okay, now let's go back to the org chart. That house is owned, or at least the person who lives in there is Erica Mason. All right. Now, her last name is Mason, and I cannot, and I don't know if law enforcement, I'm sure they're trying to make these connections. I cannot find where this Mason is related to these Masons, but it just all seems really very coincidental, okay? And I don't know if these are race related, or is there somebody that's angry and trying to pay somebody back, you know, in this area here, you know, like pay somebody back in this circle. I don't know. Okay? All I can do is give you the information and you can take a look at it. It's pretty compelling, at least, that, I mean, what are the odds that a couple friends have people in their family get blown up by bombs, okay? It's pretty strange. All right. So I think that's all I have for you on this. It's just a quick update. And I've looked for other Erica Masons, and I haven't been able to establish any connections, as I stated earlier. And I don't... I hope that there isn't another Erica Mason out there that this person was actually intending to blow up and is still after that person. Okay, I hope that's not the case. All right? And if I was the police, I would actually, if I was the police and I did find that there was an Erica Mason that is related, I would definitely protect them somehow. Okay, because this is some scary stuff right here. You know, just a serial bomber on the loose, and nobody knows when it'll happen again. Something so simple that we do all the time. I mean, I must have 5 packages a week because I basically don't even go to the mall or anything like that anymore. I just order everything from Amazon. Okay? And that's what I do. I think most people do that. All right? So I guess that's all I have for you. And I'll just say goodbye. Here's my face again at the end. I hope that's not too offensive. And until next time, I will talk to you later.